What is going on, fam? We are back for yet another Disney Sorcerer's Arena video. And my people, today we are going to take an ambitious test. And we are going to rank every single character in this game. Updated ranking list with the new Frozen characters, Incredibles characters, and everyone since the last time I did this. Because this task is so big, ladies and gentlemen, I have brought on the darling of Disney Sorcerer's Arena, the one and only Cozy Gamer. What's going on, Cozy?
What's going on, Cubs fan? Good to be back and good to do a video of all the characters, my friend. This is gonna be a fun one.
We've been debating this, so we've actually I put my ranking together, and Cozy and I put our heads together, and we had a couple changes, and I held firm on a couple things, and he held firm on a couple things. So I'm gonna say this is mostly my list with a few sprinkles of Cozy.
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. You did a solid job, and I was impressed actually with where you had most of them.
All right, sounds good, sounds good. And a big shout out to my buddy Cephas Bose, also my brother-in-law, who also kind of helped me put this together. When you put these together, you want to have opinions of a lot of people because everyone's experience is different. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into our list, Cozy, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's start this thing.
Now, when you do these tiered lists, everybody in this game wants to call it A tier, B tier, S tier, etc. I thought that was a little too boring, Cozy Gamer, and so I've come up with my own ranking names. We have got Sorcerer being the highest, most prestigious characters of this game. Magician, Apprentice, Acolyte, and Initiate being the bums of this game. Now, I'm going to go ahead while we go through this. I'm actually going to kick our webcams off so you guys can see everything. But first, we got to call out the unavailable. These guys aren't anywhere to be seen, so we can't really rank them yet. But while we're here talking about this part of the list, here, I'll bring us back, and we'll see if I can move us over to the side here. We'll go like, let's see here, like this maybe? Okay. I am really interested, Cozy, to see what Maleficent is going to do when she hits this game.
Okay, so with Anna going to Kingdom already, right? So they got a boost on the Kingdom team, and now Maleficent's gonna come in and be Kingdom 2. Man, like they needed any extra help. They're gonna be nasty.
It makes me concerned, like if I'm a free-to-play player, I'm starting to think, do we have a nerf inbound on this Kingdom thing? Because they're already freaking OP, right? And which is great. I think it's fantastic that free-to-play players have access to such a dominant team in this game right now. Maleficent is going to be a 145 shard unlock. I think it's hard to imagine her being anything but Sorcerer Tier. So, I don't know, Cozy. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be. Are you getting close to yours?
I am. I think like the closest person's still like 105 shards out of 145 or whatever.
Okay.
So we're still a little far, but whew, when she comes out, I hope we're ready.
We got a ways to go. All right, let's get into the Initiate Tier. We've got so much to talk about here with the Initiate Tier. Here's your characters right here. Now, I think the only thing to really say about these, I mean, is just we're sad about some of them, maybe. I mean, I don't know about you. I love the Emperor's New Groove, and so seeing Yzma and Kronk here kind of makes my heart bleed. But I think we could probably see them in a better place once we get, like, Cusco and Co. in the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sad about the Emperor's New Groove. No love for them. Randall, I want a Monsters Inc. event eventually. Yeah. So I want Randall to be a little bit better too. He's okay, but he could be certainly better.
Maybe once we get Mike Wazowski.
Yes.
Randall will have a little more viability with Sully. All right, not much to say about Initiate. Let's get into the meat a little bit more here. We're going to talk about the Acolyte tier. Now, I got to tell you guys how I've divided things out here. A lot of these ranking lists are splitting out the A tier into like an A tier and then a top of the A tier. I'm doing that in every individual tier here. So you can see a little line here. The top 4 at the top there are going to be the best of this tier, and then everyone else in there. And so you'll see right away, I've got some pretty new characters here from all 3 of the new teams, all 4 of the new teams we got actually in the top of this Acolyte tier. You got the black sheep of every new squad. The Lion King squad, we had Rafiki. The Toy Story squad, we had Woody. The Incredible squad, Violet, and now the Frozen squad with Olaf. All of those characters in the squad are decent, but there's just other characters you want to place in there. How do you feel about that, Cozy?
Yeah, I like how you divided it up there. You know, Olaf is great and does some good things, but you know, by himself, especially not with Elsa, he's not going to have access to his full kit. And you know, Rafiki and Woody definitely could use a little bit more help. But I do like how you have these other characters in there and some of the other ones in Acolyte.
What do you think about someone like Jangles? We talked a little bit about Jangles before this video. I've seen some footage of Jangles at high gear levels, just really being a pretty solid tank with a pretty crazy health pool. Is that just anecdotal? How do you feel about Jangles from an endgame perspective?
Yeah, you know, all tanks in general got a buff with this new spell nerf. So in general, I think Jangles got better. His health is really high, but outside of that, once you get to in-game, there's just other options to put there. And then usually you don't even know if you want to tank in-game half the time. So in general, I think this is a good spot for him.
All right. Not much to say about Acolyte. Let's move on to Apprentice. Cozy. I'm going to reveal this right now. Now, in the Apprentice tier, we've got a lot of characters that have really solid use in this game. Being in the Apprentice tier, something that I like about this game is I'll say probably just the bottom like 10% or less of this game have almost no use in this game. Most of these characters are going to have use. What are some things that stand out to you in the Apprentice tier, Cozy?
My goodness. So Genie, first of all, got a huge buff. He's going to be like all the spells that got nerfed, right? He's like Splash Mountain because he does the silence. He cleanses, so he's kind of like a wand. And then finally he revives, so he's like Golden Hammer. So Genie is, he's gotten a lot better. Other than that, I think that Frozone, you know, when he came out, I was a little bummed. Or not when he came out, when he got buffed. I was a little bummed, Cubs. Were you with, you know, his slow just got, you know, countered with wand. So now he's a lot better. What do you think?
Yeah, I like to see Frozone a little bit better. I really felt like with the Incredibles team in particular, tell me how you feel, Cozy, but when I saw that they were buffing Frozone, I thought, wow, this guy's going to be unresistible. He's going to replace Violet. You're going to need to go after him. And his kit seemed to have so much utility to really fill in those gaps, but because he was so slow, it just didn't feel like there was much you could do with him. And so I feel like you can run him in an Incredibles team, and maybe he's a bit better now, but even then, I just feel like it's hard to take someone like Zerg out if you're going to run him in Arena. I mean, when I run Incredibles in Arena, I'm putting Zerg in there. I'm not putting Frozone in there. That's just me.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing with both of these squads that came out, both Frozen and Incredibles, that haven't you noticed that there's one slot that you just rather put in the Zerg, the Hades, the Dash, rather than, you know, the character you're supposed to?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a testament to just kind of, we're in the beginning stage of this game, right? Where you've got the synergy, but then there's characters in the top echelon of the game that you can't quite part with. And I think Zerg is there, Dash is there, Hades is there, Shan Yu is there for a lot of people. A lot of those really just beefy characters are kind of hard to debate with. Anything else, Cozy, in the Apprentice tier that you want to call out before we move on to Magician?
Yeah, so I think Madam Mim is getting a lot more love, right? So debuffs in general, after the spell nerf, we've talked about it. The wand does not counter it completely. So Madam Mim, on basic, she's got a 50% chance to put out harmful effects. If you have villain teammates out there, she also spreads harmful effects. And then she also, because foul play has now been nerfed, purge all helpful effects on the enemies is huge for her because you can get rid of taunt.
Interesting. And there's not really, I've noticed not many people running her. She seems to be a little more niche at this point. What teams are you seeing people run Madam Mim in?
So mainly I'm seeing her on the Onward teams. I just did a top 8 teams video, and on that team I had the Onward trio, and then I thought they worked best with the mythical units. So you have things like Madam Mim and Merlin makes the mythical creatures better. So you have Manticore, Madam Mim, and Merlin all being mythical creatures. I think that's a great spot for her.
Interesting. I just got to call out that Manticore has got to be my least favorite character in this game. She is so freaking annoying. When you get her in the right squad and when she's starred up, she just gets so beefy, man.
My gosh, if you don't take care of her the correct way, I mean, you're stuck. You're stuck.
Speaking of Manticore, she is showing up in our Magician tier. Let's go ahead and show it. Here's the Magician tier. You've got Manticore right there in, oh, hold up.
She's in Sorcerer.
I teased you. We moved her. Okay, so yeah, so definitely deserving of Sorcerer. What a funny mistake to make in this video. Anyway, so tell me about Magician. This is where we made a lot of edits. One of those being taking Barley. I initially had Barley in the Apprentice tier, and you convinced me to put Barley in the Magician tier. I want you to walk me through why.
So Ian and Barley together, great duo. We know that. But Barley, what he can do by himself, he can remove taunts as well. And one of the only ones that can do that, he calls for assist and he can increase cooldowns with his Guinevere ability, which is just solid all around. I'm liking Barley for sure.
How about Robin Hood up here? Robin Hood is a character I think a lot of people are starting to unlock the more that you play those live PvP matches in the Kingdom team. When you're able to pass that guaranteed crit to the entire front row, that can just slay, man.
No, so absolutely. Robin Hood, Robin Hood's always been a pretty solid character. Now with all of the nerfs to spells, he didn't have a lot of things change with him, except people can't take his guaranteed crit. Some of the other characters on here that did benefit in the Magician's tier, Shere Khan, he gets better as harmful effects are stacked, so he's going to be a lot better. And then my man Jafar, Cubs, is finally getting the love he deserves, and he's getting up to Magician, my friend. What do you think about that?
I love Jafar, and that here's the thing about Jafar is the charm. A lot of people don't realize just how deadly a 2-turn charm is. 2 turns, man! That's dirty! Jafar just does people dirty. Somebody else I want to talk about before we move on to the final tier here is Elastigirl. We've got her at the top of the Magician's tier. Now, something I want to call out about this list as I rank this and as I approach this, I am not considering characters just as standalone characters. While some of these characters are great standalone characters, I'm always going to be assuming that they're ran where they're ran. And Elastigirl, when she is in that Incredibles team, she is a vital piece of that team for Dash. And Dash, one of the best characters in the game. Definitely, I'd say pretty comfortably top 3. I think you can make a debate, maybe top 2. And without Elastigirl lead, his value is significantly diminished. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree for sure. I mean, Kristoff coming out and putting guaranteed crit on him did help Dash a bit. But my gosh, she's the cog that makes the engine work for Incredibles.
She is, yeah. And when you get that extra crit chance from Elastigirl, you can start. I mean, I can't tell you how many battles I start off, Cozy, and I get up to 9 or 10 stacks of charge almost every time, 8 minimum, almost every time. And I can almost every time. I just said almost every time just now. You can do that dash right away, and you almost every time take out somebody else. I need to just stop talking. I'm repeating myself. But anyway, it's very OP, ladies and gentlemen. Let's round out this list. We have got the Sorcerer Tier. Now, something I want to call out before we reveal this tier that I think is really cool about this game is this tier has a lot of characters in it. In fact, it is our most packed tier of all of them. And I think, Cozy, to me, before we discuss any individual characters, I just want to point out how many free-to-play characters are in the Sorcerer's tier. You've got characters like Mordu, characters like Shan Yu, who are at that top echelon of the Sorcerer tier. You've got characters like Jack Sparrow, Aladdin. You've got characters like Mickey in here. All of these characters, Big Bad Wolf, free-to-play characters that are very accessible to you. And while I know that people have got on the devs because the game has gotten a little bit cash grabby towards the beginning, I do have to credit them with a very free-to-play friendly meta with a lot of very OP characters accessible to free-to-play players. I love to see it.
Absolutely. They give you one amazing character in each story. You know, you've got the Hades, Mordu, Shan Yu in the Arena Exchange, and then you can just go after Jack in the Club Exchange. So, I mean, and then Sven and Kristoff dropping in the Game Cubs, and then they're immediately viable like that, and you can farm them. Nice thing.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see them do that. The Galaxy of Heroes player in me was like, whoa, I'm not sure how to handle this. So you're telling me I can farm this day one?
Right.
What am I missing?
Like the Mandalorian dropping. Can you imagine, and being right away?
Don't tease me. I've got my Mandalorian just ready to be farmed. I'm so excited for him to go to free to play. Out of let's talk about the top part of this tier. So we got Zhuge Elsa, Dash, Mordu, Shan Yu, and Hades. I think it's pretty much been universally accepted in every tier list before the Incredibles and Frozone events that the other 4 were there: Mordu, Shan Yu, Hades, and Zhuge. Zhuge definitely seems to hold true after his event came around. Tell me a little bit about Elsa and Dash. Do you feel confident putting them there with the likes of Zhuge and co?
You know, they're so close of being on the league of their own at this point because now Dash is going to have even less that can take him down. He got even better with the Frozone team. I'm sure you've tried that out a little bit. And then Elsa, Elsa's high offense. She's got the highest offense in the game, and she has silence. I mean, everything you want in a kit. So I mean, they are definitely the best two characters, and I'm saying it, the best two characters in the game.
I'll tell you what. I think that Zhuge also got better. With the Frozone rework, in fact, or with the Frozone edition. You can see here, I've got some footage rolling right now. Here, I'll bring our webcams in so I can see your reaction to this. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but what I'm able to do here to start every battle is I pass from Kristoff right here over the crit over to Zhuge, and then I'm able to just immediately crit somebody right to hell. And so you've got the same interaction with Dash, right? Where you can get all of that and it does the devastating AoE to the whole team. But it's almost like the same benefit with Zhuge being able to just give him that crit right away, especially when he's able to go. So you'll see here he goes. So here comes Zhuge, and he's just going to go out. I think I'm going to go after Big Bad Wolf here. And here we go. Pow! See you later. 8,000 damage is one of the lower ones. I mean, I've been seeing upwards of 13,000 damage at my. This is at my level. You know, this isn't Gear 7 yet, level 60. This is still in the 50s and Gear Tier 6. So I love to see it. I'm really happy about this kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he already was auto-deleting characters before the crit damage, and now it's just a guarantee at this point. I mean, he's getting a little bit slower for what the people are coming out as, but man, Zhuge can lay out some massive damage.
He can lay out some massive damage indeed. Before we end here, I want to call out a couple other characters here in the Sorcerer tier. I think Jack Sparrow is great. You told me before this video you felt like Jack Sparrow was kind of like the equivalent of Thrawn in Galaxy of Heroes for Sorcerer's Arena. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I thought that was a really great analogy.
Yeah, you know, so Thrawn has survived the metas, right? Because of his plug and play ability. And in this game, it's no different. You want to look for those plug and play characters that you can put in any squad. Yes, you got Zhuge and you got Hades and the obvious ones. But Captain Jack, he's going to be doing charms just like Jafar. He's also going to have a massive AoE. He can help buffs on the team and get assists going out there. So, I mean, just a solid
get himself a crit.
Yeah.
Etc.
Right.
Yep.
He's solid.
You love to see that. Mickey is somebody else that I love in this list. A great free-to-play counter to Dash. May not be quite as useful as he once was, as I think some people are moving away from Dash now for the Frozone team, but a lot of people are still leaving Dash in their Frozone teams. I think a lot of people are taking Frozone and either leaving Dash or Zhuge in there. I prefer Zhuge. Others prefer Dash. So looking at the full list, I'll give you guys one last look at the entire list. This is the June 2020 every character in the game ranked list. We'll see where we're at next month at this time. Cozy, anything else you want to call out on the list in general?
Yeah, you know, I want to point out Anna, and I know we're already giving Frozone enough love.
I'm glad you did.
Cubs, I mean, Anna she's as close as you get to that S tier, Sorcerer's tier, top of Sorcerer's tier, right? I mean, she can do a mass AoE of offense down. She can also do a speed up, right? Speed's king in this game, and call for assist. My gosh, it's a thing of beauty.
Cozy, are you like me? Tell me honestly, truthfully, do you have a crush on Anna?
Maybe a little bit.
I have a crush on Anna.
I do.
All right, everyone, W in the chat for Anna. Let me know what you guys thought about this list down in the comments below. Like the video if you guys did enjoy it. Cozy, I want to thank you for coming on the video again. I'm dropping links down to his stuff down below. Go check him out. He is exploding in this game. And we're thinking, Cozy, if you guys like rogue actions in Galaxy of Heroes, we're thinking about coming up with a Disney Sorcerer's Arena type show. So if you guys have any ideas for names for a Disney Sorcerer's Arena weekly show, let us know about that down in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me, Cozy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Cubs fan, and I'm excited to get the new show rolling eventually.
Let's do it. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,